Hey there, it's Andrew. I am here to talk to you about game 3 of my KFPL adaptive run. And in this matchup, I was playing against Vrin the Terrible, and he was playing Orphan Hopadad, the Arboreal Forester. Um, Now, if you look at this one, one of the things you should notice is it has a very high expected amber. 30 is pretty high. It's not the highest, but it's pretty high. A little bit of amber control. Doorstep is a big card. Cleansing Wave has a potential to be pretty big here because I can both Cleansing Wave and Glorious View have potential to be very good cards against Crawley because I want to build a big board state. And so if there's a lot of damage spread out, the Cleansing Waves are good, and the Glorious View is probably pretty good. A few steals in Nerve Blast, Last Job, Bait and Switch, 2 Relentless Whispers, and then go to Hazard for a key cheat. So and potentially big problems with that and Nature's Call and Lost in the Woods. There's just a lot of crazy things that can happen to creatures. So those are the kind of things we'll have to watch out for. And also, he has a couple ways to kill my Golden Spiral with the Gormavom and the Whispering Reliquary. So pretty good stuff here, although certainly if you believe SAS, Crawley is the favored deck here, but this one should be able to do quite a lot of work. So let's see what happens. There we go. All right, so we're a couple turns in here. I have a Tricerian Legionary that has become a Voltron here. It has a bunch of things on it. I can't tell if one of them is a quadricorder, but I think so. And a couple Light of the Archons. No, one Light of the Archon. Probably Light of the Archons and Countersuit quadricorder, and then a Retor Gallum on the board. He misclicked his house choice, and always look at that in the line. He kills my Gallum, purging it with special delivery. Now, luckily, I have a second one, but happened and it gets a couple of big creatures on the board, a champion, an APL, and a gate. So now I'm thinking, okay, I have this Voltron Tricerian Legionary. I'd like to keep it alive. Kill it with that combination of creatures because the Gatekeeper would have to kill the ward, and then the APL would not get much farther than armor, but still something to worry about. And he does decide to go Sanctum here after I drop the Wormhole Technicians. Now I put them both on the same side because I thought I might have something else I want to put on the other side of the Legionary, and in fact I did get a Helmsman Spears that I would like to put over there. I put Calvin on the Tricerian Legionary. That actually boosts its power and armor by 1, and gives it a little more use it. So very nice there. Get Frayne and Gray on the board as well. I'm capturing Amber onto Legionary when I can because he's going to be pretty durable. All right, so Bryn gets Big Twig on the board. That's a really nice, powerful card, as well as Nepenthe Seed, and then uses Cooperative Hunting to kill. Did he not kill anything? Oh, he did 3 damage to the brain. Okay. I go Saurian and take my archives. Use the Tricerian Legionary to kill an APL. Put down Pompatus, protect it with Auxiliary, put Odoak on the other side, and then I use Phalanx Strike to kill both of his reminders. And I exalt the Broododon. He doesn't have, if I remember right, I don't think he has a board wipe. So while Lost in the Woods and Nature's Call have potential to be bad for me. I don't think he has a wipe. No, he goes to 6. He's at 6 amber, but at this point, the cost of forging is 9, and I have board control. Yeah, he's right. It's not looking good for him. He goes Untamed again, puts down a couple Niffle Apes, and passes. That's not a nice turn. I have a lot of options here. So I do go Logos. Stupid if I'm going to use my group. I have to kill the auxiliary. Oh well. I reap with 2 Wormhole Technicians and archive 2 Saurian cards. So when I play the E-Die, I'm going to archive my Failing Strike. That gives me 3 Saurian cards in archives. I did the Wormhole Technicians first because that way, because I have no choice about what I'm going to get with those. That way, then when I when I play the E-Die, I can have more choice in what I put down. And I played Apsis down first because if I happen to hit, if I happen to hit Neutron Shark, it's always nice to have more creatures to be able to choose through if you want to do that. And I actually ended up discarding the group think tank. Okay, so I'm at 7 now. He goes Shadows. He's not going to be able to steal as long as that Odoac's there. He does use Relentless Whispers to do 2 damage to my E-Die and then a second one to kill it. So he killed my E-Die, which is a good move on his part. Gets Silver Tooth down and Reaps going to 9. Now at this point, keys will cost 9 for him because of that Quadricorder. I have ways I can keep off, but I also have a good Logos hand. So ability to draw cards, so I do go Logos. Fight with the Hapsis, drawing another Logos card. Reap with Wormhole Technician, get Neutron Shark, and finish wiping his side of the board with it. Oh, not quite. I left Silvertooth. But I kill it with Twin Bolt, burning 2 of the damage onto my auxiliary's armor. Wow, and I reap with Wormhole Technician, get my last Logos card, which is Daughter, and then I play out the rest of my creatures. So, boom, and I already drew back into Die. So that's really nice. He does have a key now, but he has 0 amber. Yeah, there's the Neutron Shark. It's so funny. At this point, I realize I'm telling him advice about my deck for the match. I mean, we're about to flip soon, and he's going to play my deck. That's probably a bad move. Well, what it is. I'm a friendly guy. Go a little faster here. I just have a lot of stuff on the board. So I have so many good options here, and oh man, maybe I should just go Logos because I have so much stuff. Yeah, so I do leave my archives. Reap a couple times with Wormhole Technician. I do get Group Think Tank, which is a bummer. I have to kill my Sanitation Engineer, which I do rather than, even though I haven't reaped with it, I do that rather than kill, yeah, one of my better creatures. And at this point, I have, I use City State Interest from the Want to capture his Aember. Yeah, lots of with only because that was the only action I had. He plays Glorious View in Cleansing Wave to push himself up to 15 amber. That is scary for me. However, I have 2 keys, 4 amber. Yeah, and he's going to have to pay a lot. He has to pay 12, 15 anyway. if I archive more, yep, I archive more with the Wormhole Technician, he's not going to get to forge at all. Lots of reaps. And in that turn on 13 amber, he can't forge because the keys would have cost 17 amber. Plays bait and switch, which does steal because I don't have Odoak out, but it's not enough. That's game one, and that's about how I expect the game there. And at this point, I feel like, I mean, Crawley is a good answer to his deck in general, right? Glorious Few was big, the Cleansing Wave was good, but generally speaking, Crawley turns off a lot of the things that this deck, Vrin's deck, wants to do. So he was a very kind player. He thought I was bragging about how well my deck did and was still nice about it. That's not what I was doing though. So I had to explain. No, I was saying the rematch button worked because earlier it hadn't. All right, so it's a bummer to go shadows here because I could steal two, but he doesn't have any. But I do it, and I archive the Glorious Few because I'm just thinking, look, if I can get a little ahead, and then he gets a big board, and I pull off a really good Glorious Few, that could win the game for me. So let's just put that in the pocket there. That was my thought there. He drops some good Saurian creatures on the board, so he has out Morpheus, Brain, Retor, Auxiliary, Odoak. Curiosity kills his Morpheus, and then Fogbank is going to keep him from reaping. And then I use Niffle Ape to kill his Odoak, to do 3 damage to it, and then Special Delivery to kill it because I'm thinking this deck wants to steal. Purging the Odoak is going to be pretty high value. So the Odoak's purged now. That means that I can steal all game. If I draw back, I use 2 of my steal cards, but if I draw back into them, I'm actually going to. I go to 7. He goes Saurian, plays Retor Gallum and a Golden Spiral, holding me off for a turn. I go Shadows, not great here, but I use Silvertooth to do 2 damage, choose Retor Gallum, burn my Nepenthe Seed to play Relentless Whispers. Part of that is because I'm planning on playing Oath of Poverty the next turn, and I don't want to burn the Nepenthe Seed, but there's nothing in Sanctum that I want to pull out. So, and then I drop a second Silvertooth and Reap. He plays Calvin, puts a countersuit on it, and then Quintrino flexes. So, cool story. I go Untamed, play Dew Fairy and Niffle Ape. I forged a key earlier, so I'm on 1 key and 5 amber. He's on 0 keys and 0 amber. Crawley can definitely come back from that, but I'm feeling pretty okay here because I have a lead. If I can get that second key, then I'm thinking, you know what? I can probably Glorious Few in eventually. So Blinding Light stuns all his logos. That's really good for me. I'd like to kill the Edai because it's boosting my key cost to 7, and I have 8 amber right now. But other priorities. So he and Cleansing Wave got me too. So I'm 8 amber. Now he goes Saurian, plays Retor Gallum, and then plays Interest. And he uses Failing Strike to kill my Dew Fairy. Salts his Wormhole Technician and finishes off my Niffle Ape, and then uses Golden Spiral. So, so he unstuns one of his Wormhole Technicians. But at this point, he has 4 creatures. They each have 1 amber, except one of the Wormhole Technicians has 3. So things are starting to look. I mean, I have ways to get a bunch of amber back if I kill his stuff. So I go Sanctum again, use the Zakiel to kill that Wormhole Technician. use Whispering Reliquary to put Golden Spiral back in his hand, and then play a Gatekeeper and an AFL. He's on 0 keys, 1 amber now, and I'm on 1 key, 7 amber. He uses Retro Gallon to reap, exalts it, plays that Golden Spiral back out, uses Stomp to kill my Zakiel, which means he has to exalt a creature. So again, his amber's just sort of piling up. I go Shadows, use Nerve Blast and the Relentless Whispers to kill his Retro Gallon, stealing 2 in the process, dropping him back down to 1 amber. And I go to 12, so I'm on 12 now. He has 0 keys, 2 amber. He unstuns his Wormhole Technician and Edai, plays Twin Bolt, does damage to my stuff, doesn't get a lot of progress there, discards many. Yeah, he's not in a good shape here. So I forge my 2nd key, and then I use Cooperative Hunting and Nature's Call to push stuff back into his hand and forge the 3rd key with Chota Hazari, and that's it. That's the whole game. So this is an example of why Crawley is a good adaptive deck. Because really hard to play well. It's not easy to get maximum value out of Crawley. In fact, my guess is, especially if you're not used to this archetype at all, the ability you're going to get out of Crawley is maybe like 20% what it can do. And the flip side of that is, I don't know, having played probably over 100 games with Crawley, know what it doesn't like and able to lean into that, playing against it as well. And so you can end up in this situation where game 1 was decisively in my favor, and game 2, I won 3-0. So now, great games to Vryn. I don't think this isn't that not a good player. He's a good player, but if you're not used to that style of deck, and get a little bit of bad luck combined with just not being familiar with what to do in these situations, he had a lot of turns where he was playing 2 cards, and meanwhile I'm able to stall and keep the deck slowed down and really prevent it from doing what it wants to do, to the point where he ends with 2 amber. So that's how that can go sometimes. I'm surprised by the number of, I said this before, but the number of games of adaptive matchups where I'm able to go 2-0 with Crawley, because it's very strong and it's able to win game 1 much of the time, but then so frequently it will underperform in the hands of an opponent, and again that is chalked up to a combination of occasionally some bad luck. I totally believe that, but then also if they're not familiar with playing the deck, and I know all the ways to make the deck play its worst while playing against it, I know what to not let get set up. I know how to make it sad. All that can add up to a situation where the opponent just isn't getting value out of the deck and ends this way. So anyway, great matchup, Vryn. This really is probably is an adaptive deck and played well. And that landed me at 3-0 for the event, with 6 games won and 1 game lost. Thanks for watching, and get out there and forge some keys.